thank you for being here, and I appreciate all of your support. So let's start. Actually, I'll ask if there's any special requests today. Anybody have any areas that want attention more than others? Low back? That's always a good request around here. All right, let's start on our backs today. And let the soles of your feet come together. Let the knees release and fall out to the sides. As you lift the upper back slightly, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Palms can face the ceiling. Chin is tucked so that the neck is long, and just start by closing your eyes and settling into this space. Aware of the kind of place that you're occupying within the room today. Proximity to your neighbor, to the wall, to the plants, to the ceiling and the floor. And just allow your body to start to really sink heavily down towards the ground. Gravity pulling the knees down, opening up the hips, the inner thighs, muscles within the groin area. Begin to deepen and lengthen your breath. Filling the belly as you inhale, expanding the rib cage, drawing the breath right up to the collarbones. And as you exhale, the collarbones settle, the ribs regather, and the navel comes back towards the spine. And just let those inhales flow into the exhales, flow back into the inhale, again and again and again. And in this place of stillness, take a moment and just be thankful for this practice in your day today. Be thankful for your body and its ability to move in these ways. Be thankful that you have the opportunity to have this practice, to have this community that we have here. And then bring to mind whatever else in your life you have to be grateful for, you have to be thankful for, and take a moment to just practice a little bit of gratitude. For the good and the bad, the difficult aspects of your life and the easy, enjoyable ones, because they all shape us and make us who and what we are. On your next inhale, just let your knees slowly rise back towards one another. Let the soles of your feet plant, and just take your feet as wide as your mat is wide, keeping your heels close to you. Arms can be to a T or into cactus. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, allow both your knees to melt to the right. Let your head turn to the left. So your feet are as wide as your mat is as we open up that left hip flexor and that left IT band. And take a moment here in this twist, very gentle one. And take a moment to set an intention for your practice. So our own personal intention of why we come onto our mat, but perhaps taking a moment to set an intention for something greater or different than yourself. someone or something. And on your next inhale, just let your head and your knees rise back up to center and change sides as you exhale. Knees melt to the left, head turns to the right. Both shoulders heavy on the earth. Eyes are closed. Waiting for your next inhalation to let your head and your knees come up slowly. Walk your feet together, draw your knees into your chest, reach for them with your hands, and just begin a little rocking motion from side to side as you massage your back. So you're rolling from hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, ear to ear across your back. Good, so you can continue to roll side to side, or you can roll to center to take a grip on the back of the thighs, and if you'd like, you can roll the length of your spine, or you can continue side to side if that's better for you today. Good, so if you're rolling from side to side, you could roll to the right to press up to seated. If you're going back and forth, you can roll up to seated. And let's all make our way into a standing ragdoll forward bend at the top of our yoga mats. So you want your feet at least a hip distance width, knees are bent, upper body just hanging, head is dangling, and then shift the weight between heels and toes a few times, just back and forth. And then see if you can find that center position where the weight is balanced evenly between the two. Let your head just hang completely heavy. Back of the neck is long, giving your head a little shake as though saying no. And then bring it back to center and start to nod the head yes, up and down. And then relax the head, and one more time, shake the head no. And then one more time, nod the head yes, up and down. Good. Relaxing the head. On your next inhale, come up to a flat back, long spine as you gaze out in front of you. And then as you exhale, gently melt back down over those legs. Inhale again to that flat back, long spine as you look forward. And as you exhale, fold, gently hinge from your hips. One more time, inhale, look out in front of you, squeeze those shoulder blades together, take a grip on the back of the legs, and very gently draw yourself down. Relax the head, tuck the chin, neck is long. Good, releasing that grip on the legs, plant your hands on your yoga mat at a shoulder distance width and just step back to the top of a push-up, right foot and left foot step back. If you need a modification, simply set the knees down, keep the toes tucked. Keeping your wrist crease parallel with the top edge of your mat, spread your fingers as wide as you can, and now press the space between your shoulder blades towards the ceiling a little bit. Puff up your upper back, really strong there. Now look forward slightly on the inhale, lower with control, elbows in as you exhale, and then send the chin forward as you lift through the back of the head. Squeezing those legs together, press heavily into the tops of your feet, all 10 of those toes pressing into the floor. Hugging your elbows into your sides, take another inhale, come up a little higher. Exhale, forehead down as you tuck your toes under. Inhale, press back up to plank. And then slowly shift up and back to your downward dog. Hips to the sky, big toes turning slightly in. Start to walk those heels up and down a few times. Try to let that head just hang and be heavy. Keep your fingers spreading wide. Press each heel one more time, and then try to press both heels down at the same time, making sure that your big toes are just a little closer together than your inner heels. Draw those shoulders back away from the ears. Push the floor away from you through your hands. Inhale, rise to the toes, soft knees, look forward. And exhale, bring your feet to the space between your hands. Now come up halfway as you inhale. And fold over the legs as you exhale. Let's inhale, reach the arms forward and come all the way up. As you exhale, bring your hands down in front of your heart. Inhale, reach up and look up. Exhale, reach forward and fold all the way down. Inhale, look forward and lengthen. Plant your palms. Step back to plank. Shoulders over the wrists, low belly lifted, tailbone is tucked. Fingerprints are gripping the mat. Strong upper back. Long, slow, deep breath. Inhale, looking slightly ahead. Exhale, lower, elbows in. Send the chin forward as you untuck the toes. Lift through the back of the head. Bhujangasana, Cobra. Pushing into those palms, pressing into the tops of the feet. Hips remain down on the ground. Back is doing the work. Take one last inhale, come up a little higher. Tuck your toes, press right up and back to your downward facing dog. And breathe deeply. On an inhale, allow your right leg to float up behind you, nice and slow. Hips remain level, flex your foot. Point your toes straight down to the ground. Point your kneecap as well, straight down to the ground as well, and work at inwardly spiraling your upper right thigh. Try to press the left heel down at the same time. Keeping your right leg as straight as possible, let's inhale that right leg just a little higher, and then lower your right foot back beside the left, and inhale, lift your left leg slowly up. Flex your foot, spread your toes. Left big toe is turned just slightly into the right side. Both hands evenly pressing, both shoulders level with one another. See if you can inhale that left leg just a little higher and then lower the left foot down. Press both heels gently down. Spread your fingers, thumbs reaching in, create space between each and every one of your fingers here. Inhale, rise to your toes, soft knees, look forward. Exhale, bring your feet to your hands. Inhale, flat back, long spine, look forward. Exhale, fold, try to hinge from your hips. Now inhale, reach the arms alongside the ears, reaching forward, up, maybe a little arch back. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Now inhale, reach the arms up as you look forward and take a side bend to your right as you exhale. Inhale, come through center, and exhale to your left side. Inhale, come back up, look up, and tip the body back as you exhale. Inhale, back to the top, lengthen and extend, and now reach forward and fold all the way down. Inhale, look out in front of you, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and now plant your palms, step back to the top of a push-up. Keep your shoulders over your wrists or your first set of knuckles. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. Puff up your upper back. Press the space between the shoulder blades up to the sky. Try not to collapse there. Good. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, lower slowly. Curl into your cobra. And breathe. Elbows hugging in. Pull those shoulders down and away from the ears. Squeeze your legs together. Lift your hands. Don't lift your feet. Good. Hands beside the chest. Really push into the palms. Inhale, come up a little higher. Tuck your toes. Press up and back to downward dog. Inhaling and the right leg lifts up. Exhale and the right foot steps forward to the inside edge of that right hand. Help it there if needed. Walk your right foot a little closer to your right hand now and start to wiggle your left foot back as far as it'll go behind you. Rise to your fingerprints, lifting your chest away from that front thigh. And now try to pull the right hip back, shift the left hip forward. Draw the shoulders gently down away from the ears. Keep pulling that low belly in. Walk your hands to your knee and all the way up to your hips, squaring your hips to the top of the mat. And as you relax the arms down, the palms open forward, lifting the chin. On an inhale, reach the arms forward and all the way up. Pull those shoulders down away from the ears. Focus the eyes. Take another inhale, really extend the arms back, and as you exhale, release your fingerprints down to the ground. Let's inhale and lift the left leg up towards the ceiling, and begin to bow towards that right leg. So tuck the chin, the nose, and then the forehead in. Look at your left foot. Make sure those toes still point straight down to the ground as you press out through the heel and the ball of your foot. Let your head hang heavy. Let your hands walk back slowly if it's available. Maybe you can hold your right ankle with your right hand. Maybe your left hand can walk in a little closer to your right foot. Focus the eyes. Now releasing the right hand back to the floor, bring your hands back to shoulder distance so you can step your left foot way back behind you, planting both palms flat on your yoga mat. Pick your right foot up, step it back to join the left foot. You're at the top of a push-up, and just press up and back to your downward dog. Hips to the sky, heels pressing down. Relax your head. Good. On the inhale, let your left leg lift up and take a big step forward with the left foot now. Walking the left foot closer to the left hand. Wiggle that right foot back. So make sure that you've got at least 2 of your own fist distance between your 2 heels. You're on the ball of the back foot. Left hip is pulling back, right hip moving forward. Now we're going to take the hands up to the left knee, walk them all the way up to the hips, squaring those hips to the top of the mat. Relax the arms down, palms roll open. Start to lift the chin. Keeping the shoulders relaxed and down. On an inhale, the arms reach forward and all the way up. Shoulders down, hips sink down. Maintaining that breath in and out through your nose. Take another inhale, really extend, reach back, and as you exhale, slowly lower the arms. Fingerprints come down. Now we're going to push off the right foot, lift the right leg high, and start to bow chest to thigh. So your left leg can be bent in this one-legged standing pose, especially if the fingerprints won't touch down with the legs straight. Hands can start to walk back a little bit if that's possible, pulling yourself towards your left leg. Maybe your left hand can walk a little closer to the left foot. Maybe it can hold the ankle. Maybe your right hand can come a little closer. Chin is tucked. Keep the neck long so you're looking back towards those right toes. Keep them pointing down to the ground. Maintain the breath. Even flow through the nose. Now letting both your hands come back down to the ground, widen them to shoulder distance. Take a big step back with your right foot. Plant both your palms flat on your yoga mat. Without lifting the heel of either hand, left foot joins the right and you're at the top of a push-up. And from plank, just press up and back to downward dog. And breathe. Lengthening the spine, pushing the chest gently back. Keep those hips lifting higher and higher as the heels press gently down. Roll the weight to your thumb and pointer finger as much as possible as you push the floor away. Good, inhale, rise to the toes, soften the knees as you look forward, and let your feet come all the way up to your hands. Inhale, flat back, and exhale, fold. Inhale, reach forward, up, maybe a little tip back. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up as you look forward and lean to your right as you exhale. Inhale, come through center, and then lean to your left. Inhale to center, look up. Take the back bend as you exhale. Inhale, come up slowly, reach forward, and fold all the way down. Look out in front of you as you inhale, long spine. Plant your hands and step back to plank pose. Puff up the upper back, draw the low belly up and in. Look forward as you inhale. Lower yourself slowly down to your belly, your forehead, and the tops of your feet, and then clasp your hands behind your back. Squeeze those hands together. Squeeze your shoulder blades together so your forehead is on the ground. Send your knuckles towards your heels. And now inhale, start to lift through the back of the head, chin coming forward, arms lifting just off the buttocks as you send those knuckles back. Keep lifting the heart up, away from the earth. You can start by pressing into the tops of the feet, and if you want to take it further, let both legs float up as well. Really extending your toes back behind you. Squeeze those legs together here. Taking one last inhale, bring everything up, and then release the feet and the forehead down. Plant your hands beside your chest. Tuck your toes, inhale to plank, and press back to downward facing dog. And take a moment here to stretch it out, lengthen the spine, and relax the head. Good, let's inhale, lift the right leg up slowly, and then take a big step forward with the right foot as you exhale. Staying on the ball of the back foot or setting the left knee down, we're gonna take our right hand to our right knee and then slide that left arm across the right leg all the way above the elbow. Bringing palm to palm, bending at those elbows, start to bring your hands to your heart, starting to turn your chest to the right. Turning your head to the right now, looking over that right elbow or shoulder. Remember, we can be on our back toes, we can be on our back knee. Work to your edge here. Spiral that chest, open to the right. Elbows are bending, thumbs are coming in towards the chest. Take one more inhale, twist just a little deeper as you exhale, look down, and release your hands down to the ground. Come off the back knee if you're on it, planting both palms, right foot joins the left, press back to downward dog. Inhaling and the left leg lifts up, and exhale, step the left foot forward. So widen your feet to hip distance. This will help with the balance aspect to this pose. And if you were on your back knee last time, set the right knee down. Now left hand to the left knee. Slide that right arm across that left leg all the way above the elbow, palms touch. Bending at your elbows, bring your hands to your heart. Looking, turning to the left, maybe looking over that left elbow or left shoulder. Using that right arm as leverage to spiral that chest, open to the left. If you're on your back toes, keep pressing that right leg as straight as you can. If you're on your back knee, try to let those hips melt down to the ground as well. Take another deep breath in, twist a little deeper, and as you exhale, look down to the ground. Release those hands down to the ground. Tuck the right toes, pick up the right knee, left foot joins the right. Press back to your downward dog. Good, inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bring your right foot to the center in between your two hands. Plant your left foot on a 90-degree angle and line up your right heel with your left arch. Walk your left foot back as far as it'll go. So you want your right knee over your right ankle as your right forearm comes onto your right thigh. Bring your left hand up onto your left hip. Turn your right palm up to face the ceiling and open the fingers like you were holding a plate with that right hand. How far back can your left foot walk here? Good. Now take your left arm, reach it straight up to the ceiling above you. Looking out to the left or even up towards your left hand, tuck the tail just a little bit, pull the low belly in, and now rotate your left palm forward and take your arm slowly over your ear. Let your left pinky fingers start to turn down just a little bit, but try not to bend your left elbow at all. Can that right knee bend just a little bit deeper? Let the knee move towards the baby toe edge of the foot. If your right knee wants to go past your right ankle, left foot can walk back even further. On the inhale, left arm to the sky. As you exhale, look down to that right big toe. Let's inhale, come up to standing and straighten the right leg. Walk your left foot a little closer. Line up your heels with one another now. So don't turn your right toes out. Keep them pointing straight ahead. Slide just your left heel back. And now start to reach out over that straight right leg and tip into your triangle, Trikonasana. Looking out to the left or up towards that left thumb, stacking the shoulders. Roll the weight to the right big toe and the inner right heel. The knees are soft and not locked. Take another inhale, reach that left arm even higher. Exhale, look down to your right big toe. Inhale, come all the way up. Good, let's turn the right toes in and pigeon toe the feet with at least one leg's length in between them. Clasping the hands behind the back, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Send your knuckles towards the floor and the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Take another deep breath in, really lengthen, and now hinging from the hips, soft knees begin to fold. Try to keep just as much weight in your toes as you have back in your heels. And then start to relax the head and see if you can let the arms begin to draw away from the back, but keep that squeeze between your shoulder blades. Knuckles extending up, shoulders pulled back and down, away from the ears. Bring your hips forward in line with your ankles. Take one last inhale, stretch the arms a little bit further, and then exhale, release the arms down. Start to walk your hands around to the left and just turn your left toes out. Line up your left heel with your right arch. Walking that right foot back as far as it'll go. So try to point your right toes straight out to the right. This is going to allow your hip to open up as well. Left forearm onto the left thigh, right hand onto the right hip. So as your hand comes to your hip, roll the shoulder back. Turn your left palm up to face the ceiling. Bend your left knee over top of your left ankle. Take your right arm, reach it straight up in the air. Good. So Lynn, point your right toes out to the right a little bit more. Yeah, and bring your left foot over to the right now just a teeny bit. Now, turn your right palm forward, start to reach the arm over the ear. Keep bending deeply into that left knee. Get the knee over the ankle and try to move your knee a little bit to the baby toe edge of the foot. Just a subtle opening in that hip. Keeping the tail tucked, the low belly drawn in. Try to balance the weight evenly between your 2 feet here. Pull the shoulders down and away from the ears. On an inhale, that right arm floats up, and as you exhale, look down to your left big toe. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms to a T, straighten the left leg. Shorten the stance just a little bit if you went really long. Now line up your heels with each other. Slide just the right heel back. So your right foot started pigeon-toed, now it's slightly more than a pigeon-toed position. And as you look down that left arm, begin to reach out over that straight left leg, tipping into your triangle, right arm floating straight up. Try not to bend your left leg here. The knees are soft, not locked, but they're not bent either. Roll that right shoulder back, roll that right hip back. Press into that left big toe and inner left heel. And then press the whole outer edge of your right foot firmly down to the ground. Take another deep breath in, reach those fingers up. As you exhale, look down to your left big toe, and we inhale, rise to standing. Turn your left toes in. Bring your hands to your hips, making sure your feet are at about a 1 leg's length stance, tailbone tucked. Inhale, lift through the crown, and now hinge from the hips and begin to fold. Feel the pelvis tipping as you come down. Bind onto your big toes with your first 2 fingers and your thumbs. Now inhale, look out in front of you, draw the low belly in and start to pull yourself down as you exhale. Elbows bend, flare out to the sides. Pull the shoulders back away from the ears. Trying to let your toes take just as much weight as the heels. And the fingers pull up on the toes with the same intensity as the toes push into the fingers. So tuck the chin a little bit. The neck is long. Make sure your feet are at least one of your own legs' length wide. Breathe. Good. As you inhale, come up to a flat back. Release your toes. Start to walk your hands around to the right, turning your right toes out. Come on to the ball of your left foot. So once both hands are planted there at the top of the mat, the right foot's going to join the left, and you're just going to press up and back to your downward dog, pressing the chest back as the heels melt down to the ground. And just sway those hips side to side. Good, bringing your hips back to center. Inhale, come forward to the top of a push-up. Exhale, lower down to your belly, forehead and tops of the feet. Reach the arms back as you bend your knees. See if you can grab the tops of the feet or the ankles. If you know that that is not an availability for you, take the arms more out like jet airplane wings, palms pressing down. And if you're holding on to the tops of the feet, try to bring the thighs back together as you spread your toes. Now inhale, send the chin forward, lift through the back of the head. If you're holding your feet, take your thighs, try to lift them off the ground. If you're in jet airplane wings, you can lift the hands and the legs off the ground as well. Work to your edge here. Breathe. Try to bring your thighs back together. Take one more inhale, lift up, 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 and release the forehead, release the feet if you're holding them. Hands beside the chest. In slow motion, press up to the knees and the hands, and then bring the big toes together. Sit the hips all the way back towards the heels. Relax into your child's pose. Arms can relax in front of you, alongside you, or your hands can support your head like a little pillow. slowing your breath down, quieting the mind. Good. Bring your hands to either side of your head. Press into the palms and slowly come up. Make your way into a seated position, and then we're just going to open to the windows on our mat so we can take a wide-legged seated position. So we'll open towards the river. And try to have your kneecaps and your toes pointing straight up towards the ceiling as you take those legs nice and wide apart. Hands are in between the thighs, crown of the head is lifted. Bring your shoulders back over your hips, bring your ears back over your shoulders. And now really lengthen through the top of the head as you inhale. Begin to crawl those fingers forward as you exhale. Try not to let your toes fall forward or back. Bring your heart as far forward as it'll go, and then relax to your palms. Let your head relax down. Try to keep pulling your chest through those upper arms. Closing your eyes now. Keep the feet flexed and breathe. Lengthening with your inhale, softening as you exhale. Now with your inhale, you're just going to lift the chin away from the chest, keeping your chest exactly where it is. Don't lift up. Move over towards your right leg. Come all the way around and bring your right arm or hand around the outside of that leg as well. Square your chest towards that right foot. Right hand on the outside edge of the right leg, left hand on the inside edge. Pull the belly in, drag that heart a little closer to those right toes, and then relax the head and breathe. Make sure that your left shoulder is level with your right. Try to keep those feet flexed. Now as you inhale, lift the chin away from the chest, and as you exhale, keeping your chest low, crawl back to center. And then let's go all the way over to the left. Bringing that left hand or arm to the outside of that leg, pull the belly in, drag your heart as close to those left toes as it'll go, and then keeping the shoulders level, relax your head, close your eyes, and just breathe. Compressing that low left side of the abdomen now as you push out through the heels, toes pull back. Inhaling to lift the chin, keep the chest low. Exhale, come back through center. So now you're going to inhale, drag that heart just a little further. As you exhale, relax your head. 3 more breaths here. Keep extending the heart forward away from the navel and the navel forward away from the pubic bone. Last inhale and full exhale. And then with your following inhale, just begin to slowly walk those hands back in. Coming all the way up, shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders. And now just bring the soles of your feet together. Drawing the heels in close to you, holding either your shins or your ankles or holding your feet. Lifting through the crown of the head as you press those knees down. Take a deep breath in and begin to move the heart forward. Try not to round your back. So when your chest can't go any further forward, start to melt the chin towards it. But keep moving the heart forward away from the navel and the navel forward away from the pubic bone. If you find your elbows touching your inner thighs, use the arms to press the legs down. Good, and your next inhale, lifting through the back of the head, slowly coming all the way up. Bring your hands to the outside to the knees and let your knees come together. Drawing your knees in as close to the chest as you can, wrap the arms around the legs, sit up nice and tall, and then just melt your chin down toward the chest. Let your head hang heavy. Good. As you inhale, lift the chin. As you exhale, turn back to face the front of your mat so you extend your legs out in front of you. Remove the flesh out from underneath those sitting bones and pull all 10 toes towards you. Hands beside the hips, shoulders back, ears back, neck is long, toes spread wide. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, move your heart in the direction of your feet, letting your arms come down to take a grip with a bend in your elbows. Now try to draw the belly back towards the spine as you drag that heart forward. Relax your head, let it hang, close your eyes, and just breathe here. Heels pressing forward, toes pulling back. Being gentle with your body. Breathing as deeply and as slowly as you can. Notice where the body tenses or tightens. Can you direct the breath there? Can you soften that area of the body? Good. As you inhale, lift the chin, and as you exhale, extend and reach the arms forward. Let's inhale, come all the way up, stretching as we go. As you exhale, release the hands down. Move your feet to the top of your mat. Extending legs out, extending arms out. Close your eyes and just start to slowly descend out onto your back. Keep breathing deeply. Don't hold the breath. Keep the feet flexed, abdominal muscles working. Eventually, the upper back starts to touch the shoulders, the head. Point your toes. Reach your arms all the way back behind you now. Take a deep breath in. Stretch the body out. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale. Arms come down to the sides. Draw your knees into your chest. Hug them in and rock from side to side, massaging that low back. Try to let your head move freely with your torso. Good. Roll back to center and bring your arms like railings right down beside you. Send the legs up to the ceiling above you. So you can opt to use this as your form of an inversion. If you want to take it further, you have the option of a full shoulder stand. If you want to work on your headstand, that's totally available to you as well. So listening to your body and listening to what it's telling you today. If you are in the back wall, back row, close to a wall, you might want to bring yourself even a little bit further so that you don't kick the wall when the legs come up, or a plant. Making sure you're set up for whatever pose you're coming into is safe. Just letting gravity help pull any pooling blood back towards the heart. Asking that heart to work a little harder to get the blood up to those feet. If you're working in shoulder stand, you have the option of a couple variations. It can be legs wide, it can be splits, it can be Baddha Konasana. Can do eagle legs and shoulder stands, so many options. If you're doing something that's a right side, make sure you do evenly left side as well. If you're doing just legs up, you have the option to go a little wider with the feet as well. Those of you in shoulder stand can take plow. Those of you in headstand can take variations. Those of you in legs up and arms up might wiggle fingers and toes, encouraging a bit more lymphatic drainage. Maybe circling wrists and ankles. If you're in plow and your feet touch down to the ground, palms can press down, press the backs of the knees open. So from plow, you're going to start to make your way slowly onto your back because we're all going to meet with our legs up in the air. If you've got a block underneath the low back, you can remove it. If you're against the wall, you can come off the wall. We'll all meet with our arms by our sides and our legs straight up to the ceiling above us. So pressing the heels up and away, flex the feet, push into your palms, take a deep breath in, and start to lower your legs slowly down, pushing your heels forward as the legs come towards the floor. And once your heels touch down, so you don't need to take 5 breaths, you can just lower them in 1 breath. We're going to move into Matsyasana, our fish pose, so sliding one arm at a time right underneath your body. Try to keep your arms straight, so you want your elbows to come underneath you as well. So you've got thumb next to thumb. Walk your hands towards the backs of your knees as much as you can. So you've already puffed up your upper chest a little bit. Point your toes and spread them out at the same time. And now inhale, lift the head, the shoulders looking down the front of the body. Push your chest up, up, up. Relax your head all the way back. And gently set the top of the head down on the ground, really pushing into your elbows, your forearms, and your palms to lift the heart, keeping the throat open, keep spreading your toes. Breathe deeply. Good. One more deep breath comes in. Fill, fill, fill. Make sure that you squeeze it all out as you exhale. And now inhale, lift the head just enough to clear the floor so you can lower your back, release your arms. Walk your feet towards you. Hug the knees in loosely and just use a little massage here to release any tension in that back. And now bring your body back to center and set your feet down on the ground. Bring your arms either to a T or into cactus, depending on your proximity to the wall. Shift your hips a couple inches to the left and then cross your left knee all the way across your right knee. So knee over knee. Turn your head all the way to the left. Take a deep breath in. So left leg over right now. And let your legs fall over to the right, nice and slow. So Heidi, cross your left leg over your right for me instead, and the hips come a little bit to the left first. Yeah, so just the hips to the left, and then legs to the right. You got it, all the way over, yeah. So that left hip is gonna pull away from the floor, but try not to let the left shoulder. Close your eyes. If you're finding having the legs crossed is a bit too intense of a twist, know that you can always uncross the legs and just stack ankles and knees instead. Try to keep that head turned as far to the left as it'll go. And then really melt the left shoulder and shoulder blade down. Let that low left rib cage come back down towards the ground as well. And just breathe here. Good. On your next inhale, let your head and your knees slowly float up, uncross the legs, and bring your hips back to center. Take your hips just a couple inches to the right now. Cross your right knee over your left knee, and now turning your head all the way to the right. Deep breath comes in. Melt those legs slowly to the left. And again, the option is there of uncrossing the legs if this is too intense. Really important that you're constantly listening to your body, checking in. What is it telling you? Right shoulder coming down, right shoulder blade, that lower right rib cage melting back down towards the floor below you as your hips and lower body turn to the left. The breath is slow and fluid in and out through the nose. On your next inhale, let your head and your knees slowly come up. Uncross the legs and shift your hips back to center. Bring your heels as close to you as you can and bring your arms down to your sides, palms pressing down. Reaching for your heels, adjusting your heels so there's about 2 of your own fist distance in between those feet. Slight pigeon toe to the toe though. And now as you flatten your low back towards the ground, make sure your feet aren't at the outer flesh of the body wide. They're in line with the center of each buttock. And on an inhale, lift your hips up into bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. We're gonna do 3 rounds of bridge today. So maybe your hands can walk a little closer. Some of you may be working with clasped hands. Some of you may be working with bent arms. Some of you may be working with just straight arms, palms pressing down. Try not to let your knees go wider than your hips. Really press down through the big toes and the inner heels, pushing your chest up and towards your chin. Try not to let your wrist pull away from the floor. Protect your wrist at all costs. Take another inhale, rise to the toes, take the arms just out from under you so you can lower upper back, mid back, low back, heels down. Walk the feet together, let the soles of the feet touch, let your knees open out to the sides. Let the arms relax where they feel comfortable for just a couple of breaths. Good, on your inhale, let your knees come up, separate the feet hip distance, reach the arms down to the sides again. Tucking the tail, feet at a hip distance width. Press the back of the neck down on an inhale, lift those hips up again into your bridge. Maybe you can come up a little higher this time. Maybe the arms come a little closer together underneath you. Keep hugging the knees in, pressing into the big toes and the inner heels. Engage your quads more than your buttocks. Let the buttocks be that secondary point of engagement here rather than the primary. Relax your toes, don't grip with them. Good, take another inhale, rise onto the toes, take the arms out from under you so you can lower 1 vertebra at a time down. Arms either in cactus or out to a T. Walk your feet as wide as your mat is wide and let your knees fall together. So feet to the edges of the mat, knees come together. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, let both your knees melt to the right. Turn your head to the left. So keeping your feet as wide as your mat is, the option is there. So your arms are out to a T. You've rolled onto the outer edge of your right foot and the inner edge of your left foot. Do you have the ability to maybe walk your left foot a little further out to the left? Or if you prefer it, pick up your right foot and place it on top of your left knee or the thigh just above it, adding a little bit of weight to that leg. Deepening the stretch through the left hip flexor and down the side of your left leg. Targeting more through the lower part now. Take another deep breath in, and if the right foot is up, slip it back down. If the left foot walked out, bring it back in, and then inhale, head and knees to center. Change sides as you exhale. Knees to the left, head turns to the right. So the option is there to walk the right foot out to the right or use the left foot as a little bit of weight to that right knee or thigh. What feels best for you? Maybe you're good just as you are without doing a modification. Breathing into the front of the right hip, the side of that right leg, softening and melting the body down. Take another really deep breath in. If the left foot is up, take it down. If the right foot walked out, bring it back in. So you can inhale, head and knees to center. Walk the feet towards each other, preparing for our last round of bridge. You have the option of wheel as well. So with your arms down at the sides or hands to either side of your head if you're working in your wheel. When you're ready, inhale to take it up. And take at least 5 breaths there. Make sure your feet are not wider than your hips, especially those of you in bridge. 2 fist distance between the heels, between the knees. If you're working in wheel, you might work towards bringing those feet a little closer together, trying to straighten the legs, straighten the arms. If you're working in bridge, really squeeze those shoulder blades together, press the arms down, hips come up high, and at the end of your 5 breaths, you can make your way slowly out of your posture. Let your knees come loosely into your chest. Rock from side to side. Beautiful. Come back to center. Bring your arms to a T or to cactus. Keeping your knees squeezed into your chest. Flex your feet. Spread your toes. Take a deep breath in. Let both your legs begin to melt to the right as you look to the left, but don't let your legs touch the floor and don't let them separate. Left shoulder is heavy on the ground. Using the strength of your core and especially your oblique muscles here to keep those legs up. Take another deep breath in, and with your exhale, relax your feet where they are. Turn your palms up if you'd like. Pull the hands or the elbows down just a little bit so that your shoulders stay down away from the ears. So relax your feet to the floor now. Relax into this twist. So we've done so many different variations of twisting today. And notice how in each and every pose, what you feel differently within your own body. Can you close your eyes and go a bit more inwards? Can you breathe a little deeper? Softening any areas of tension, tightness, letting the body just melt completely. Take another really long, slow, deep inhale. And as you exhale, be sure to squeeze it all out. And now you press into the arms, flex the feet, inhale. Head and knees come up, knees to chest again. Exhale, legs drift to the left and hover as you turn your head to the right. Squeeze your knees together, squeeze your thighs together. Don't let your right shoulder lift. Hold those legs up, hold those feet up. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, set your feet down. Relax your arms, palms up or down. Bring your hands a little lower than your shoulders or your elbows if you're in cactus, encouraging the shoulders to relax down away from your ears. Just breathe here as deeply as you can. Arms are relaxed and heavy on the earth. Upper back is heavy. Facial muscles are soft. Close your eyes. Give your neighbor to your right the same privacy you would have appreciated on the other side. And not just for privacy's sake, but more for the act of letting go of what's happening around us and being more focused, more aware on what we are experiencing inwardly, within the body. Heavier and heavier, sinking deeper and deeper into this twist. And it's by the act of letting go, not through force, that we find new levels of relaxation in our postures. Starting to press into your arms now. Start to engage both of the legs. Wait for your inhale to come up to center. Reach for your knees with your hands and just rock a couple times from side to side. Massage your back. And then as you roll back to center, draw your forehead towards your knees. Wrap your arms even more tightly around your legs. Start to squeeze the face and the scalp, the shoulders, belly, back, legs. Take another inhale. Hold the breath now. Squeeze, 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 and release. And make yourself ready for Shavasana as quickly as you can, not paying attention to anything happening around you, just making yourself ready for your final posture of rest. Maybe you're covering up, maybe you're bolstering the knees, maybe you're putting something over the eyes to block out the light of the space. Try to come into this posture as quickly as you can so as you have as much time as possible in the pose, remembering how important this posture is for your practice. It's the most important pose that we do. It's where everything can really sink in. So being sure that your body is symmetrical, right and left the same, legs and arms the same diagonal line. Shoulder blades are tucked and the neck is long. Start to relax your throat. Let go of the Ujjayi breath. You can breathe deeply, but don't force to make a sound anymore. Notice those points of contact between the body and the ground. And try to feel heavy through those points of contact. The heels, calves, buttocks, back of the hands, elbow and shoulder. And right at the back of the head. Feeling as though your body was just sinking into the floor. Let all the muscles of the face be soft. Almost like your skin was melting a little bit here. Your internal organs sinking towards the back side of the body. Gravity pulling the bones downwards. Focusing inwardly. Letting everything else go. Take rest here. Take rest and relax. Keeping the body very still, just begin to breathe deeply. And notice the movement that's just associated with your breath. And as you continue to breathe deeply, just start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And begin to move your hands and feet, your wrists and your ankles, and turn your head from side to side. And as you roll the head back to center, start to slide your legs together, pointing your toes, reach the arms back behind you. Take a long, deep breath in, reach and extend. Exhale, the arms come down to the side. Walk the feet towards you. Draw your knees into your chest and just rock side to side, back and forth, massaging the back of the head across the upper back and the low back. And when you're ready, roll to your right side and just pause here. The eyes are still closed. Check in. Notice how you feel. Has there been a shift or a change from when you checked in at the start of your practice? Take a moment to be thankful for this yoga practice. With your eyes still closed, and as little movement as possible, nice and slow, come up to a seated position that you can be comfortable in for a few moments. Bring your palms together at your heart, putting a firm amount of pressure between your hands, bringing the two sides together, right and left, sun and moon, masculine and feminine. They're at your heart. Send a silent thank you out to those who came to join you in this space today. Thank you for allowing me to share these teachings of yoga with you. It is always an honor and always a blessing. Ending our practice today with an Om. Take an inhale. Hands come to hover just at the space in front of the brow. To know the truth, that the hands come down to hover just in front of the mouth, is to speak the truth. Lower your hands back down to your heart. May we always strive to feel the truth. The divine light within me graciously acknowledges that same divine light within you. Namaste. Thanks, everyone, very much. So we've only got 6 bottles, so we'll have to kind of share them. You're just kind of spraying around your mat a little bit, using a paper towel just to kind of spread it around. It should still kind of be damp when you finish that little spray.